We're here to look at foraging in January, and I've got a beautiful panel of people with me today, which is really exciting to be sharing their amazing knowledge. What's incredible is that January is quite a cold time. And obviously, we're coming to the middle of January, and a lot of people think there's nothing to forage. A lot of people believe that we only forage in the spring and the summer when everything's coming up. And that's where you'd be surprised. There's a huge amount that we can access out in the wild at the moment. So we're going to be covering that with you today. So a few of the things that you can look out for at the moment that we're not talking about in this session, you can find chickweed. Chickweed is coming out everywhere at the moment. It's a beautiful little green leaf with a white flower. Dandelions are another amazing, really nutritious plant that you can eat the leaves of. We've also got nettles that are coming up now, and the young nettles are one of the best things to eat, filled with nutrition. So you can go out and start to look for these things. Sweet violets are also coming up now, so that's another lovely thing that you can look out for. And we're going to be covering some of the other things that we can find. So without ado, I'm going to introduce myself and everyone else on this panel so you can meet us and we can get on with this session. So my name is Juliet Bryant and I'm a nutritionist and also really keen on foraging. For me, I love being able to guide people to connect with the earth, because through the earth, when you freshly pick something, this is where you can get such an amazing array of nutrients coming in. So that's my passion, connecting people into the earth and showing them what's on their doorstep. We also have the wonderful Jo. Jo, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello. Yes, I'm really into permaculture and forest gardening, and that's where the foragings come from. And I stopped asking if I can eat this plant quite a long time ago, and I asked more, how can I eat it? Because it seems that we can eat almost everything if we know how. So that's what I do, is make gardens that we can eat.
And Jo, do you want to tell us, go through your foraging guide that you've written? Because you've written a really great guide to what people should do when they're out foraging.
Well, there's some rules, so it's good to know about these when we're foraging. They're common sense, really. So there's five actually. One is, the first one and the most important, is to be 100% sure of what you're foraging. And that's the biggest journey, I think, with learning, is to identify the plants. So there's lots of apps now, and going on walks with people that know is really good. And even if you do know, it's good to check sometimes, because we always look for poisonous lookalikes as well, especially with mushrooms. So be 100% sure where we pick, so the location. I've known experienced foragers get ill when they forage near where there's been field sprays, for example. Not to pick too close to a road. It's common sense, really. And then there's sort of laws, but the main rule is, if we're allowed to go somewhere, have the person's permission who owns the land, we should be able to pick. Our gardens are brilliant places, actually. That's really cool. And yeah, we need to just take what we need, and not just think about the rest of the natural world, and not be too greedy. So, oh yeah, the other rule with picking is, generally we don't take by the roots when we're on someone else's land. That's really important. We can do the 4 F's of foliage, flowers, fungi, and what's the other F? Fungi, flowers, foliage, and there's a 4th F. But anyway, that's so no roots, basically. And oh yeah, the final rule is share what you know, which is really important, because not enough people know about foraging, and it's like Dan was saying, it's like proper vegan food, which is really hard to get hold of if you don't grow your own.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. And Jo, if people want to follow you, where can they find out more about you?
Yeah, I'm not really very good at social media, but I do have a Facebook page and an Instagram. So Jo Barker Permaculture is my Facebook page. Yeah, and I'm going to start TikTok one day.
Brilliant. That would be amazing. Thank you, Jo. We're looking forward to hearing from you more in a bit. Okay, over to you, John. Do you want to introduce yourself now?
Hey guys, I seem to be having a bit of trouble with my. Hey there, sorry. I seem to be having a little bit of trouble with the connection here, but okay, it's now. Yeah, this is John Dale, checking in from Cornwall. We've got a 4-acre small holding down here, which we are using vegan organic principles for our growing methods, and planted an orchard of over 80 fruit trees. We've got herb gardens and soft fruits, roses, and basically creating a well-being center for the future. On social media, it's on Instagram, Dale_John, and my partner Julia is well-being, and you can see everything we've been up to on there.
Amazing. Thank you, John. And you're doing some incredible work, aren't you, down in Cornwall with your freeholding that you've got. So we look forward to hearing more. Maybe in the next one, you can show us some photos of what you're doing and how it's all going there. Brilliant. Thank you. And over to you, Mark. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, joyful evening, everyone. So, yeah, Mark, and I love to lead forage walks around various counties, and it's primarily allowing people to share what I know, and to allow people to then go out in nature and start to harvest plants safely themselves. That's the purpose of doing it, so we can all go out there and do that, and obviously be responsible when we're harvesting. And yeah, I'd love to share those, how we can make plants and various parts of trees and fungi into teas, food, medicine, and practical ways as well. Nature provides and has everything, and it's just tapping more and more into that. I have a website, it's teaofgaia.com. And I have Telegram pages for the various counties I lead forage walks in, and I post various pictures and videos that I love to share. And you can find me on there at Nature's Way 888.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mark, for sharing that. So we're going to get into now this month's delicious, delightful array of foods. So we will start with you, Joe, if that's all right. Do you want to tell us about your amazing finds this week?
Well, so I picked hedge garlic to share. I'm really excited to see this is around now, and it should be everywhere, and it's just going to get better and better. So the thing about this time of year to remember is that it's slower to harvest. I think that's the difference at different times of year. Last month I shared a root, and you can also eat the root of hedge garlic. So Dan, could you show the picture, please? I did a little video, but I did it in the wrong format. Oh yeah, here we go. So hedge garlic, also known as Aliaria petiolata, which sounds like a Hogwarts spell, is a fantastic name. And it's actually a member of the Brassica family. So this is what a young hedge garlic looks like. It's got lots of names. Some people know it as Jack in the Hedge. In fact, it's got loads and loads of names. I wrote a few more down. Mustard root, garlic root. I know it as hedge garlic and Jack in the Hedge. So this looks very different at different times of its life cycle, but we can eat the roots at this time of year, and we can eat the flowers in April to June. They're absolutely delicious. It does have chemical compounds that are the same as garlic, which is why it smells like garlic, and it has some of those medicinal uses too. Apparently it's good for eczema and asthma, but I don't know quite how you use it for that, and bronchitis. It's one of those plants that's got lots of uses. It's also a good dye plant. You can make yellow dye from the whole plant. And it's a great wildlife plant. It's associated with the orange-tip butterfly. So when we're gardening and not eating, or when I'm harvesting this, I'm always careful to look underneath the leaf, that I'm not taking one that's got a little egg on it. So that's something to look out for with hedge garlic. It is so delicious. It's yummy, raw, steamed. You can add it to soups. it's a real treat. And like I said, it's a member of the brassica family, which means cabbage family. Now, what I wrote down, the nutritious, apparently it's got loads of vitamins in, like vitamin A, C, E, and it's got some of the B vitamins in. Oh, thanks. What else did I want to say about this? Where you find it, it should be in your garden. And it likes damp places, it likes shady places. So it grows wild. And if you're lucky enough to have it, go and try it. So is there anything else to say about that? I like to recommend looking at Plants for the Future website, because you can put in the name of any plant and it will tell you how to eat it and what uses it has. There's lots of plants you can eat and do other things with them. But really recommend trying to find this one, because you can eat it from now till about June, I think. So it's a nice one to have.
Amazing. Thank you, Jo. That's brilliant. I have to say that it's one of my favourites, garlic. I know it as garlic mustard, and it's really good to thin the blood as well and to boost our immune system. So like garlic would be amazing for that. So it's a great one. Does anyone else want to share anything about garlic mustard or hedge garlic?
You can just...
Yeah, Mark?
Yeah, I'm not sure about it. It has green seed pods that you can eat those. I've not done it myself, but so I don't know if any of you guys have experienced that, but I thought that's something to look into as well, because I feel with so many plants, there's so many exploration of seeds that are not eaten. And so I don't know if anyone experienced that.
Yeah, certainly steamed some of the seed. The green seed heads on brassica plants, and I think I've tried this one. They're a bit tough, but when you get them young, you can eat the seeds as well, of course. Good
leaves are so tasty in just about everything. What I like to do as well is chop them up and dry them, so that then I can use them throughout the year, sprinkled on food to give it that extra seasoning.
Good one.
John, did you want to add anything to garlic mustard?
Them as a substitute for like any other types of wild garlic for pesto. They also make a nice wild garlic pesto.
Yeah, delicious in pesto. Amazing. So go out and find yourself some garlic mustard or hedge garlic and try this incredible thing. One of the things about identifying it that's so incredible is that you smell it. And you can smell it smells of garlic. It's really distinct, the kind of garlic mustardy smell. So it's hard to mistake for anything else.
I think the ID thing's really important, and the flower, because it looks different at each stage of its life. When it has the flowers, all the brassica flowers have 4 petals, which is a really nice thing to know. If it looks like a cabbage plant, this is a bit different from the other cabbage plants, but they all have this, like they call it the other name for brassica family is got the word cross in it, isn't it? Can't pronounce it.
Cruciferous.
That's it. And it's to do with the cross, the four petals. So the flowers are very delicious too, aren't they?
Yeah. It is an incredible one. I've got it growing throughout the garden, and when it goes to seed, I then take the seeds and sprinkle them in other locations. So I'm going to get more of it, because it is just an instant salad and food. Amazing. Thank you, Jo, for sharing that. Okay, Mark, over to you with your sharing.
Okay, thank you. So I'm actually drinking a tea of it right now. I'm going to talk about ground ivy, and I'm just trying to remember its Latin name. I think it's Glecoma hederaceae or something like that. Excuse if I've pronounced it wrong. I don't always remember Latin names. But anyway, so this time of year, it's there just in very, very young leaves. But you can eat the young leaves in salads. Even so you can see by these pictures here, this is they're growing big. They have like a good network root system, so you find them in big clumps, and they're abundant everywhere. in dampy areas, even woodlands, edge of woodlands, hedgerows, and it starts to flower in spring. I think we've got a picture of one leaf on its own, and also when it's in flower as well. So it's beautiful there. It's kind of like almost little kind of kidney shape as well, and that's very true. So we just show a picture of the flowers as well. So you can see the flowers, they come out in springtime, and they're around for quite a long time, you know, throughout the summer. Beautiful, beautiful flower. So you can eat, the young leaves, the stems, and so you could eat them raw. You can also obviously put them into soup, stews. Really good for flavouring. There was even used for before hops was used. They were used to flavour beer as well. So then people that do like a tipple, they could explore in that way. And so you could see by the leaf, it had a little bit of a kidney shape. So it does have affinity for the kidney area, but it's really quite a forgotten plant. Bear in mind, it's so abundant. So you can use it's very good for guitar. It's kind of like an expectorant. So any sort of guitar phlegm issues, it can help break all that up. So kind of clearing the head area. So it has a real affinity for that. So it's good for kind of getting clarity, I suppose. So maybe I'm getting some clarity now. So yeah, stuffy nose, and it's meant to be good for even like kind of tinnitus, that kind of stuff as well. And the one thing I found really interesting about it, that I read about, that it can be good for pulling out heavy metals from the body, so kind of like lead and mercury. You know, you think what our bodies accumulate over the years, and you know, just through what's around the environment and various foods, then I thought that'd be really interesting exploration, and say a lot of these plants are forgotten about as well. So I feel that's really good to know. It's yeah, I make a tea as well, so like I always keep a dry stash, so it's nice to dry, to keep some over like the winter time. So I just harvest the aerial part, so that's normally just a little bit of the stem, but mostly the leaves and the flowers. And yeah, it is a beautiful tea, and I always invite people to explore it and play around when you know definitely what you're harvesting, to mix some tea blends together, have fun, allow the joyfulness and the creativity to flow out of everyone. I think there's something else I was going to say, but I can't remember. Yeah, so yeah, so certainly affinity for kidney areas, and you'll see it, yeah, grow in damp areas as well. That's where I noticed today. That's what come to me to talk about this plant. And even after the heavy frost last night, it was still there. I'm still here. So I think that's covered it for ground ivy for me.
Amazing. Thank you, Mark, for sharing that. It's definitely an amazing one, and it spreads so profusely. So if you find it, it's just going to keep spreading. So you have a great store of it that you can keep coming back to. So it's an amazing one. It's also very good for menstrual problems for women. It helps relieve menstrual pain and also helps to regulate female cycles. So that's another quite useful thing that you can use it for. Does anyone else want to share about ground ivy? Joe, do you want to share?
Yeah, that's really great. I heard it grows often in the woodlands, where we might sit round a fire. So I learned from somebody that we would have drank it as we sat round the fire in the tea, because it helps with the when we inhale smoke. So sitting around a fire is lovely and fantastic, but it can be a bit can take in toxins. So this is really good. So that goes along with the heavy metals thing that Mark was just saying. So I think that's a really good point about heavy metals too. So there's some other plants that do that, like fat hen. So we have to be careful where we pick it. So we don't want it to be too close to the road. At least we don't have lead in the car fuel anymore, because that used to be a big problem with foraging near roads. So it's not as bad as it was, but it's still not great. but good that it's a detoxer plant. Oh, and also a quick thing to say about how it looks. It looks very similar to the photo I showed earlier, but I know that ground ivy is very small, isn't it? It's about a centimetre, whereas the hedge garlic's more like 3 to 4 centimetres. So they look completely different, but they looked I thought the photographs looked quite similar. So if you were just wondering that, then they're very different.
Amazing. Thank you, Jo. John, do you have anything you want to add to ground ivy? We seem to have a large delay. I don't know if John is still there. We can't hear you, unfortunately, John. I think your internet might have, your signal's gone down a bit.
Did he mention he's off grid? Because that's why
yes.
Yeah.
Hi. Sorry, I can't really hear you guys either.
Did you have anything you wanted to share about ground ivy?
Tonight I'm talking about Pennywort, which, let's see. There, and when I harvested it some this afternoon, don't know if that's going to be shown.
Hey guys, this is John Dale checking in from Cornwall. Today I'm going to talk about a wild food called navelwort or pennywort. I don't know
whether the video was going to be shown or not, but
you're looking at it at the moment. These little round leaves that you've probably seen growing out of hedgerows. You can see the dried flower from last season, and the ones you want to go for that are the most tasty are roughly the size of a penny. So they do grow bigger, and I'll just go across here. Those ones there are a lot larger. I'll put my hand next to it for example. I personally wouldn't go for those, but something like that little one there, that's what you're looking at. Excuse the state of my hands, I've just been gardening, but that is what I would go for. And pull that off of there. Little round discs like that, and they are a great substitute for cucumber basically in a salad, or you can just eat them when you're on your walks, and they're a refreshing little treat. Thanks for that.
Great, thank you, John, for that great video about Pennywort. It's got lots of other names as well. Its a Sri Lankan name is Gotakola, which is interesting, and it's very good for the brain and for the mind to help the brain function better. So I think we all probably need a bit of brain functioning better, don't we? That was a beautiful video, John. Thank you. Does anyone else have anything they want to share about Pennywort? Yeah, go for it, Mark.
I think it you can use it for any like kind of burns, I think. So I don't know if you get like the juice out of it, which makes kind of sense with that kind of way. I've not done that, but I seem to recall it does that, and I'm not sure as well. It may even bring out some splinters as well. I'm always quite a thing of like getting a splinter of not, always using a needle. I'm like, I know there's plants out there that can do that. I think plantain is another one that can do that, but that may be something that's a potential. I'm not quite sure how that would work, because it's quite, I don't know. I always feel just to play around and experiment with this. This is the thing of being almost like a kid and being a bit playful with that, to see what can come from something. That's the beauty of being in nature.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? Once you've ID'd something correctly and you know it's safe to eat and you know what parts you can use, that's when you can allow that kind of playful nature to come through to test it. Oh, I think we have John back. Are you there, John? Did you want to share anything else?
Yeah, sorry,
We
I was
really
having
enjoyed
real
the video.
technical issues there. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Not really. It's one that has Pennywort hasn't really got official research done to it with it, but it's just a really nice one that's so commonly available everywhere, and it's just a really nice plant to get into your diet, really.
It's great that you can use it like cucumber. I didn't think of that. It's got that kind of cooling effect to the body, doesn't it? Amazing. Thank you, John. Okay, so it's over to me. I'm going to be talking about mallow. So I'm just going to show you a little video on mallow right now. So we are here in Suffolk, and what's very exciting is we have this lovely mallow here. Very soft and furry leaves. You can see the leaves have a heart shape pattern to them. Lots of leaves are now coming up, which is great, and these are edible as well as the roots being edible. You can see next to it there's also some chicory coming up, which is quite exciting, and this too is also edible. But mallow is what we're looking at. This is common mallow. There is also marshmallow and tree mallow. So lots of different sorts. They are all edible. So that was a little video so you could have a look at what mallow looks like. I have a leaf of mallow here right now. Mallow is one of my favorites because it's very much like spinach. And it's got so many nutritional properties, which is what is so incredible. The roots, which you wouldn't be using about now, but I'm going to tell you a bit about the roots. The roots have this mucilage, which is like a jelly-like substance. And as I said in the video, there are different types of mallow. So you have the common mallow, which is what I was showing you. You have marshmallow, which is where the marshmallow came from. They would take the sap from the stem of the marshmallow, which is this sticky jelly-like substance, and mix it with sugar to make marshmallow. They don't use that anymore. They put gelatin in, but that's where the name marshmallow came from. So this mucilage in it gives the mallow a really highly anti-inflammatory properties to it. So it's very good for healing the digestive system, for the urinary tract, for coughs. When we look at something that is good for the kind of mucous membranes of the body. So the mucilage is like the word mucus. So all of the mucous membranes, so are for women, the vaginal tract, the digestive tract, the throat, these all have this mucous membrane to them. So this is going to work on all of those. In a lot of African medicine, a poultice is used. So you would use the leaves and also the jelly-like substance from the stem to put onto wounds, a bit like aloe vera, to treat swelling, sores, and insect bites, sore muscles, things like that. And when I was looking into mallow, one of the things that came up, which was really interesting, was that the seeds were used as an aphrodisiac, because it was said that if you consumed a few of the seeds, it would stimulate your sexual desire. So I thought that was quite an interesting thing. But the leaves are highly nutritious, and the leaves are edible. You can eat them now. You can eat them raw. You can steam them. You can put them in soups and stews. Use it as you would spinach. Juice it. Very high in vitamin A, B, C, along with calcium and magnesium. So it's a really nutritious thing to have and very easy to use and work with because it's everywhere. Common mallow is literally all over the place. It's got a beautiful pink flower in the summer. And I've got mallow growing in the garden, and we will literally every day would get a big handful of it from now all the way through to kind of September, October, November time that you can use. So it's giving you a lot of food for a small plant, really. Does anyone else want to share anything about the lovely mallow? Yeah, Joe. You need to unmute. That's it.
This is my absolute favourite foraging plant. Absolutely love mallow. I think we should star it every time we do this session. No. As a forest garden plant, it is the #1 thing that I would want to put in every single garden. So as a lavatera is the shrub variety, and it's generally evergreen, so you can eat the leaves all through the winter. And the flowers are gorgeous. It's also related to hollyhock and hibiscus, so we can eat hollyhock flowers and leaves, young leaves. We always eat the young leaves of everything, so that's worth remembering. Yeah, so I've heard it's anti-inflammatory, but it's got so many medicinal things. It's just one of those, and it's great for wildlife. It just does everything, and it's beautiful. So yeah, we have the one that Juliet showed is the wild version, which is really everywhere when you start noticing it. Yeah. Oh, you can make toothbrushes from the mallow too, and it thickens soups. Oh, and the mallow cheeses. You didn't mention the mallow cheeses.
Oh no, you're right.
It is such a treat, and kids love these little nutty green seed heads. So yeah, absolutely fantastic plants.
Although if they're an aphrodisiac, if the kids are having the seed heads, that might be dangerous. It's like you said, the hollyhocks are amazing. You can make a great cough syrup from the hollyhock flowers as well, because they've all got this kind of demulsive effect to them. So they coat and soothe all of the mucous membranes, which is so useful. I think the marshmallow, I've got lots of chopped up marshmallow root that's dried, which I always use in teas. And I usually mix it with dried elderberries and saronine coughs. That's a brilliant tea or cough syrup.
Fantastic.
Mark, do you want to share anything about the mallow?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, great. Yeah, I remember because I love to experiment different with teas, and I remember harvesting the flower and just put the flower into a tea, and it went just like transparent, where it just like absorbed this. It's a beautiful colour. I felt all, but obviously I did ask the plant if it was okay to harvest the flower, but it's so beautiful. Just see it all, just this beautiful transparent flowering in the top of flowers in the top of the tea. And as you guys said, yeah, so soothing. I think as well, I don't know if you mentioned, I think it's good for like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. So, but it's so beautiful. You do feel that mucus is so soothing. It's the most wonderful plant, and yeah, beautiful to have in salads, and it adds such a beautiful decoration of the colours. And I always like to create a chakra or energy center salad with all the different colors, and mallow could be part of that. Again, having a play around, I suppose. But yeah, I think you guys have covered pretty much that I know of anyway, so thank you.
It's interesting, isn't it? At this time of year, there's so much stuff that starts to come up that really lasts for a very long time. And if you look at things like nettles, highly nutritious. And one of the amazing things about the nettles is that, and dandelions and the garlic mustard or hedge garlic, all of these plants have this brilliant detoxifying effect. And the one you said, the ground ivy, because, it's nature showing us we've been a bit more sedentary over December. And as things start to wake up in nature, it's that chance for us to detoxify our body more. So it's giving us the foods that are going to support the liver and the kidney to cleanse.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that cycle of the natural plants that are available is beautiful. It's why it's really important to eat seasonal foods. With all that stodgy nuts and fruit. By the way, the fourth F was fruit. It's amazing the different types of nutrition available at each time of year. But yeah, we're starting to see those spring tonic plants. I do think it's still time for roots, and I think So the burdock we talked about last time, and hedge garlic. Dandelion's also good for roots.
And there's still some horseradish. You can get some horseradish roots still.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's still quite a few rose hips out, which is another great one to get because they are rich in vitamin C. And I saw a massive bush of sloes, which I'm going to go and forage and
really slows still.
Loads of them. I saw a huge amount of them.
Got this today. Pyracantha. There's lots of berries still on the plants. Cotoneaster pyracantha, related to hawthorn and apple and rose.
And there are quite a few crab apples still about. So you can make some crab apple jelly, which is a great way to preserve the crab apples. So it's worth getting out and looking. But one of the things about this time of year, I think is really important when you look at berries or nuts, because there's some chestnuts still available, is make sure you're not taking too much, because the birds need food massively at the moment. So, you know, we need to have that consciousness and that respect that other things are using this as their food to sustain them.
Absolutely.
So we have some beautiful, exciting things coming up. The Veganic Gardeners question time is on Wednesday, the 25th of January at 7 p.m. A great panel of people you've got coming on there. Giles Bryant talking about Gardens of Paradise, Graham Burnett, permaculture teacher, Megan Kelly, Learn Veganic teaching, and Sparrow Middleton talking about Tolhurst Organic. So a great panel. It's going to be a brilliant show. So do tune in on the 25th of January for that. And we will be back very, very soon to talk more about what you can find. So I hope you have enjoyed this show. Do get out, take walks, breathe in the fresh air, get some vitamin D on your skin, get that sunlight. There may not be a lot of it, but make the most of what is there. And look around your environment and see what you can start to collect and work with. So thank you very much to the beautiful panel of Mark from Teas of Gaia, Joe Barker, and the lovely John Dale. Thank you all for being here, and we look forward to sharing our knowledge with you all again very soon.
Thanks, Juliet. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.